Hello, everybody, and welcome.
Oh my god, we're back. Yay, hi everybody. For those, should I give context to that phrase?
I believe so.
So we took a week off of our own fruition because you were stressed out with stuff. I was stressed out with stuff. So we were like, let's take a break from the show. And then someone, no one in particular, but I'm pointing at him right now, and the him is me, got sick. So we didn't record for 2 weeks. I feel like I haven't seen you in forever. How are you, man?
I am doing pretty good.
That's great.
As you can see, my voice has changed.
No, it hasn't.
I've turned into Postal Guy.
I've been hanging out with you for hours.
Absence.
This is the first time you talked like that.
Well, see, they don't know that.
No, they do now. I just informed it for them. It's not like
for all they know, I could become Postal Guy. I sound white, but I'm actually black.
Thanks. Thanks for that. Can we have that as a t-shirt, please? Film Nerds Hour first t-shirt.
I sound white, but I'm actually black.
You can get it in kid sizes. Right.
And version 2.
Yeah.
I'm black, but I sound white.
Oh,
I
wow.
swear.
It's very clever. How'd you ever come up with that $1 million idea?
A lot.
So we're back. You guys won't notice any different.
Oh, no.
But it's been weeks for us.
It's been weeks for us, and it sticks out. But luckily, you guys don't have to deal with that. You guys can listen to this wonderful podcast as we entertain the fuck out of you.
Yeah.
Because I get to say a swear that it's past the minute.
Yeah, has it been past a minute? Okay. For those of you who don't know, we're on YouTube now, so we gotta abide by their post-minute rule, which is the rule, isn't it?
Maybe. Who knows?
We'll figure it out as we're dealing with the algorithm.
YouTube's rules always seem to change every 2 days. God. So it's what it is, but...
They change their minds like a prison warden who has amnesia.
No going here. No going here.
No,
Who said you could do that? Oh, I said that yesterday. Wait
no, I didn't. I never did. There's no evidence. Anyway.
I did not say you could do that to that inmate.
Yeah. Sure, we can have pizza. Who the fuck told you pizza? All right.
But today we are bringing you a very special movie that will set up for our next movie.
Yeah. No spoilers for the next movie, but it's the Sam Raimi immortal classic from 1981. 81. I knew that. I was making sure you knew that. The first Evil Dead.
And the first movie of Sam Raimi, the first full feature.
Did he do shorts ever? Or?
He did, yes. And which Bruce actually starred in a couple of them.
Bruce Campbell. Were they just best friends forever?
They were high school friends, yeah.
Okay.
So they had the same relationship as Martin Scorsese and Robert De Niro, basically.
That's cool.
High school buddies.
That's cool.
I think I wanted to call him Ash. Bruce wanted to go into acting. Sam wanted to go into directing, and he had him do a couple of short films with him. I was looking it up earlier. Let me pull it up here. Trying to find out. Oh, Bruce has actually been in quite a bit.
Oh yeah, Bubba Hotep. My Name is Bruce Campbell. The Adventures of Briscoe County Jr.
Yeah. I knew he was in Tornado. That was cool.
He was in
Aqua Teen Hunger Force. Sorry, I just. Mm-hmm.
He was in Burn Notice as a character who I routinely dress as involuntarily because he just wears shorts and Hawaiian shirts, which is what I wear most of the time. What else was he in? I'm trying to remember. All of the Evil Dead movies, including the Showtime TV show.
That was not Showtime. That
Stars.
Was Stars, yeah.
Yeah. Again, just making sure you knew that. I, of course, knew that. Just making sure Noah did. He's been in all of the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies as cameo appearances. Always a different character.
Within the Woods was Within the Woods was that one short that he did with Bruce Campbell. That was one of his first that came out in 1985. No. Within the Woods came out during 1978. That's more like it because I saw that earlier. While spending a weekend at a remote cabin, Bruce desecrates an Indian burial ground and becomes reanimated, making way to kill his friends. It's a 31-minute short.
So it's very of the Evil Dead kind of.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure this was a prelude to what would eventually be known as Evil Dead. And then we did get Ellen Sandwich, who played Ash's sister. Yeah, Cheryl. Mm-hmm. who also made an appearance in Evil Dead. And for those of you, something that's going to drive me nuts.
Was it Cheryl who made an appearance, or was it his girlfriend?
No, it was her.
Okay.
It's right on here on IMDb, and I saw that earlier, too. She's divorced, apparently, too.
Oh, well, we don't want to get into people's personal lives.
Anyway, as for those of you who don't know, Evil Dead is not a remake.
The newest one.
The 2013. There's a distinct thing. Just because they call it Evil Dead, here's the thing. The original Evil Dead is called The Evil Dead. The Evil Dead. Evil Dead 2 is called Evil Dead 2.
Yeah.
And then Army of Darkness. Mm-hmm. But Evil Dead, there's a distinct difference. It is not a remake. It's a common misconception.
Same cabin, same book,
Yeah, it is officially part of the universe, and to which we will say something very briefly here, because it is in the vein of the Evil Dead, that there has been reports that they are coming out with another movie, although this one will not feature Ash.
Bruce Campbell's character.
But you never know at this point.
Yeah, you really don't.
It's been said. But apparently this Evil Dead movie will be a Poltergeist 3 type movie. It's supposed to take place in an apartment. But
okay.
Bruce is going to be working on the film, at least behind it, and he's been giving details on it.
That's good.
But yeah, Sam Raimi himself looks like that he said it. I'm trying to find fact source it, because I know Screen Rant is reliable.
Yeah.
Nothing against We Got This Covered, but a lot of the time they put out a lot of stories. So yeah, like for instance, like Bloody Disgusting, you always know. Again, not trying to throw shade at We Got This Covered. It's just, there's a lot of...
Sometimes they mess things up, and that happens.
Yeah, there's a lot of...
reporting news is hard. Like...
Yeah, and you know, I get it. It's just one of those things where, you know, I always like to fact check, and I know Bloody Disgusting and Screen Rant are definitely like the horror.
Yeah, those are the ones who are specific for it. And...
Besides Dead Meat, and of course when they report something, because here and there they do, so you always know that they're reliable.
Shout out to Dead Meat, I love those guys.
Yeah, very good over there, very
James A. Janice and Chelsea Rebecca.
You are the exact...
You inspired us to start doing this, really.
Yeah, and you guys are the perfect example of what kind of person I would love to marry one day, or at least be in a relationship with.
James or Chelsea?
Chelsea, obviously.
Okay, obviously.
Or James.
I don't know. Yeah.
You know,
they both seem cool.
I just want to be with somebody who loves movies and supports me on it.
Yeah, I just want to be with someone who makes me happy, and I make them happy, and we're happy together.
All right there, Hannibal Lecter.
Hannibal Lecter? I don't want to eat her. Well... Okay, so the movie.
All right. So, basically, though, this comes from Bloody Disgusting. To briefly recap, the next movie in the Evil Dead franchise is currently called Evil Dead Rise. That is what it is. I'm sorry, I forgot.
I like that title.
Yeah, I forgot to say it. I was like, I knew it had a cool name. Evil Dead Rise, it's being directed by Lee Corman, which he did The Hole in the Ground, which I told you need to watch. We're definitely going to be doing a review on that. The Hole in the Ground is an amazing movie. The style...
is that the one with the
literal hole in the ground?
And then the kid goes in it?
Yeah.
Oh, right. That's where I've heard of that before.
It is absolutely amazing. It is not anything like I thought it was, and...
You're going to freak out. I have a friend from high school who knows the main guy in that movie. And
the kid?
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah. Like, she was like, yeah, I went to church youth group with him. It's like, what?
Yeah, that's awesome. That kid did really good.
Yeah.
Also reminds me of Vivarium, which is another one we're gonna have to do, because that's a good Jesse Eisenberg movie. Mm-hmm. And Naomi Watts, right? No.
No, you're thinking of...
No, Vivarium had I'm trying to think. It wasn't Naomi Watts. It was another good name. She's known though. If I can get my laptop to load here.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I'm just gonna look it up on my phone.
Yeah.
But Vivarium was a very good kind of mindfuck movie, as well, which had Imogen Poots.
That's a nice name.
I think that's how you say it.
Poots?
Or Imogen Poots.
Sorry if we get your name wrong.
Yeah, that's...
They're never going to hear this.
Foreign names. Well, you never know. But,
I know.
the kid in there, Sean Jennings, was a very good actor, very talented young man. So we'll definitely do that for you guys because that is something that I really, really, really do like. Though both those movies were incredible surprises. I'd strongly recommend that you go check those out. And at the time that we're recording this video, which I believe will be because it is in October, and I do believe it's going to be through October, The Evil Dead is currently on Netflix, along with Ash vs. Evil Dead seasons 1, 2, and 3. I believe, if I remember right, if it hasn't changed. It's also on YouTube, iTunes, Google Play, Vudu, and Amazon Prime, all for $3.99 to rent.
Yeah. So I'd say watch it depending, because I would say for this movie, you probably need to have a strong stomach.
I have a strong stomach. The claymation, I never thought a movie could make me cringe more.
Yeah.
And that's going by modern day standards. I can sit and you can throw all the buckets of fucking blood that you want at me and saw.
Yeah.
Douse the camera. This is very well done.
It's a lot of blood, a lot of
body horror.
A lot of body horror. I will also say, anyone who is sensitive to films that center around demonic possession, maybe skip this one.
Yeah, and there is an extended assault scene, we'll say, through that involves trees. So if that's going to be something
assault of a sexual nature should be prefaced.
Nothing as graphic as I spit on your grave.
Yeah, or last house on the left.
Yeah, it does not involve any other humans. However, it is questionable and it is kind of hard to watch.
Yeah, and it's very descriptive with the noises. So if that is also a sensitive subject for you, maybe just listen to us talk about it.
Yeah, and
There's
that's perfectly fine.
That,
Otherwise, you can skip it over. It is a scene that you skip over. You don't have to watch anything. You will not miss anything.
Yeah,
other than kind of the character's traumatization of it.
This movie, if you get past that, you'll be okay.
Yeah, really, the first movie is really what really made Evil Dead the
staple.
The staple of what was the worst of the series. Not in a bad way, but in the most horrific way.
It's very much like Sam kind of just probably wanted to make a movie that people would remember.
Yeah, I don't think it had anything to do with the fact that he wanted to play on that. It's just he was thinking, what can I do that would terrify people, and what could I do to disturb people in a way that would make them think like this is terrifying to think about. What if that were all to happen?
Exactly.
But we never really see anything else. Otherwise, the rest of the franchise there's really not a whole.
Third one is pure comedy.
Yeah, it is basically like a Cabin in the Woods.
Second one's funny too.
Second one's funny too. It got a little bit more humorous because of its campy nature.
It's in between the first and the third as far as like gore and horror and humor.
Yeah. Well, Ash versus Evil Dead. There's a lot of body horror I've heard in Evil Dead 2013, which we eventually will do because I still haven't watched that yet.
That one is pure like horror, like no comedy. Ash versus Evil Dead, the show, that is hilarious.
A mix of comedy. There's some terrifying bits in there though. Some really big
there is. There's some bits from. There's a certain main character in the first season who gets got, and it made me very sad.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, yeah.
The best line out of that entire series first season. Come on, let's tango, bitch.
I think my favorite was, "Hey, Granny, let's go," or possibly,
"Groovy.
Hey, don't be down on yourself. You were in the electronics department."
Yeah, like
Ash. Hey, Dolly, like just a lot of
just funny, lighthearted nature, not even crude.
Well, the line that just came into my head was crude, because he's having sex in the bathroom, and he's got a wooden hand. Do you remember the line?
Yep. I don't remember. I'm trying to think of it, because I'm just laughing so hard with the wooden hand.
He hits her with it, and he's like, "Oh yeah, you like my wood?" Oh,
I can't imagine how awkward that had to be too to film.
Especially considering he's like in his 60s and the girl was like maybe 20.
No, I'm sorry, he is in his 60s.
When he was filming that?
No, he was in his 50s while filming that.
Okay,
now he is in his 60s. Sam Raimi's in his 60s. Isn't that terrifying?
That is crazy. God,
like old. You don't realize how old these like you think they're in their 50s. Yeah. Sam Raimi's aged well.
Samuel Jackson is in his 70s. He's in his 70s, and he looks better than me in my 20s.
He looks like he's in his fucking 40s.
He does. He's very good on him, man. Bravo.
I mean, he looks like almost like what he does in Pulp Fiction, besides a few wrinkles in eye posture.
Pretty much. Well, no, I was saying it must have been an uncomfortable scene to film because he's in his 50s, and the woman he's having sex with is maybe in her mid-20s,
unless she's
early
into Dill
30s.
for Gilfs.
Yeah, there's no judgment, but there is.
That'd be creepy.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's probably uncomfortable for him too.
Exactly.
Because most people are like, oh,
He
pervert
probably,
man.
like, I imagine because it's Bruce Campbell and he seems like the coolest guy, I imagine he apologized before, during, and after.
Oh, I'm sure. It'd probably be like Bill Skarsgård with all the little kids.
Yeah.
Where like immediately after he's like,
are you okay? I'm so
okay?
sorry. I'm sorry I made you cry. Are you alright?
Yeah, like, what is it, Tim Curry, who, with the kid who played Georgie, he's like, my job is to scare you, but I feel so bad because you're crying and I didn't mean to make you afraid.
Exactly.
And he just felt so terrible because he's like, I have to do it.
Well, my favorite thing was Bill Skarsgård the first time in the 20 whatever it.
2017.
Yeah, thank you. The first one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So in that one, he's like, he apparently the first time he's on screen, he scared Jack Dylan Grazer, who's Eddie. Yeah, he scared him, and he's like, after they all cut, he's like, "Are you okay, Jack?" And he looks at him, and he's like, he looked at me and he went, "Love what you're doing. Love what you're doing with the character."
Probably out of fear.
Yeah, and he was like, "I hope one day he'll hire me for something." He's gonna go far in this business.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, speaking of good movies and bringing them back, like, that is one of them. Mama's another good one by Andy Muschietti.
Muschietti, yeah.
Yeah, he's done good. Him and his sister.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is like the turning point for Sam Raimi's rise of fame, and
yep.
you know,
he goes from zero to hero overnight.
Yeah, which almost literally, because this movie was.
If he was Weird Al, this was his Eat It.
I mean, this movie really deserves all the credit, but
some people laugh at
quick going back to Evil Dead Rise. To briefly recap the next movie in the Evil Dead franchise, it's currently titled Evil Dead Rise. It's being directed by Lee Corn, the Hole in the Ground director. Yep. It won't feature Bruce Campbell as Ash Williams, and it's not going to be set at a cabin in the woods. Rumored but unconfirmed at this time is that the movie will be set in some kind of high-rise skyscraper, which is the same as Poltergeist. Yeah. Which, you know, I could see the people being skeptical, but I think if you've watched The Hole in the Ground, you've seen what Lee Cronin can do with a small setting and how he can make very, very little a shit ton more.
Yeah.
And he's done very well at it. Poltergeist 3, I know that there's mixed reception on it. I personally think they did really well utilizing it for all the horror elements and making it very, very claustrophobic.
Sure.
That particular setting is still very much unconfirmed for now, but it is interesting to note that Campbell himself teased over the weekend that Evil Dead Rise is at least set in a city.
That's cool.
Quote, "The Evil Dead are going to fuck up a city this time." End quote. Campbell said during an event at PA's Mahoning Drive-In Theater over the weekend, first reported by 1428 Elm. So will Campbell make an cameo in the movie? Head over to 1428 Elm for his thoughts on that one. Campbell will be producing Evil Dead Rise along Sam Raimi, which is quite obvious because he did play a large role in producing other projects and Ash vs. Evil Dead as well.
Exactly. Who's Sam Raimi's brother?
Sam Raimi, Ted Raimi, and he's in a lot too.
He's in everything, man.
Ted Raimi's in every one of Sam Raimi's movies. I don't know if he's in Drag Me to Hell, which we will have to do sometime too, because Justin Long, I haven't seen it yet. I do own it. Justin Long is also in that movie. And,
you love Justin Long.
I love Justin Long. Jeepers Creepers really did it for me. It really showed his acting abilities.
Have you watched his competition show he hosts now?
No.
He's got a competition show he hosts on Disney Plus, and it's like a wood shop class. So it's like you get two people, and it's like 4 teams of 2, and it's like you're gonna make a go-kart and go, and it's like it's not as like I thought it was gonna be a slog. I actually really enjoy it.
Well, it's Justin Long, so I have no.
Yeah, he's a great host. He's a really good host.
I'll definitely look into it. Tim Raimi, just to give you kind of an idea, he was in Attack of the 50-Foot Cheerleader, which is a 2012 movie. You can also find that at Dollar General.
Cheerleader?
Yeah, it's funny. He was also in Elf, Buddy Thunderstruck, Blood Rage, Dead Wax, Dark Rising, Apollo 11, Freak Talks About Sex, Illusion, Angel of Death, Patriot Games with Harrison
Darkman.
Ford.
I know he's in Darkman.
Clear and Present Danger with Harrison Ford as well.
All the
Stuart
Evil
Saves
Dead.
His Family. Reign Over. Wishmaster. Shocker, which is a cool Wes Craven movie that I have yet to see, like The People Under the Stairs. Skinner, The Midnight Train. Wishmaster, Murderer of a Cat. Sequest, DVS, It's a Murder. Thou Shalt Kill Except. Candyman, I do remember he was one of the first victims. He's also in the movie Intruder. Man Screaming with a Brain, another Bruce Campbell movie. Hard Target. Within the Woods, which was actually one of Sam Raimi's first movies, as we talked about earlier.
Yeah.
Oz the Great and Powerful, which is also a Sam Raimi movie.
Okay.
Prequel with James Franco. So that was actually pretty cool to see, too. He's been in all the Spider-Man movies. He played J. Jonah's...
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah, but who's he? He played under him. But yeah, he's also in Xena Warrior Princess, and that's just gonna give you an idea.
So yeah, so Ted Raimi's great. Yeah.
Yeah, the Raimis have definitely made a name for themselves, but particularly those two.
Yeah, those two. Yeah. So this movie though, Evil Dead, The Evil Dead.
The Evil Dead.
We'll be sure to specify. Starts out pretty, like, the first 20 minutes, I'd say. It's before we get to, like, the real crazy stuff.
It's like what you would think Friday the 13th would be and was, but a more calm approach. And if they weren't on the lake, instead they were just going for a little cabin retreat.
Yeah, so let's list off the players, shall we? So we got Ashley, or Ash.
We have Ash Williams, played by Bruce Campbell. Ellen Sandwich, who plays Cheryl Williams, which is Ash's sister.
Ash's girlfriend.
Linda, played by Betsy Baker.
And then
Scott, played by Richard DeManicore.
He's more called Scotty throughout the movie.
Yeah, and Tersa Tilly, who played Shelley.
She's Scott's titular girlfriend.
Yeah, and those are our main three.
That's our Fellowship of the Ring.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 characters. I had a mind fart there. That's my bad.
Yeah. Yeah, so they're driving up to this cabin. How do they explain that they got it? I think it's Scott got it somehow.
Yeah, it was a relative thing, or
renting it out,
yeah, and
for like a weekend.
But they didn't take a look over at it. So as they're coming up to this cabin when we open the movie, they head across this bridge, and this bridge...
Tire goes through it.
Yeah, and Scott's saying the whole time, oh, there's nothing to worry about. And the girls are basically asking, did you even check out this cabin to make sure that it's not like some sort of death trap or murder cabin? In which he just replies, it's fine, nothing to worry about. And that's when the bridge starts falling apart. Ash goes to get out and push the car, but is like, huh. Yeah, exactly. I'm not going to do that because the bridge is falling apart.
Exactly. So they get over the bridge, though, and they get to the cabin. And, gosh, this cabin. It's more of a shack, is it not?
It looks like a shit down shack. It really looks like one of those gas stations that you see out in the countryside, but one that hasn't been taken care of, and it's just kind of
looks like the cabin from the second Friday the 13th that the cop goes in.
Oh,
that Jason's living in. Yeah. It looks like a more refurbished version of that.
Yeah, by no means you're not pleasantly surprised when we get in there. Not to mention, what really sets the tone for this is the fact that you hear this big clanking sound, and when Scott goes up to get the keys from the atop the door, while they're just sitting on top of the door for anybody to get in.
Yeah, they're like, he says it's one of these, but it's like you hear there's a porch swing, and it keeps hitting the cabin like over and over and over, and the second he grabs
a battering ram.
Exactly, and the second he grabs the keys, it stops
and just rests. Not even like next to the house, just rests.
I don't know about you, but I've seen enough movies for if that happened, I would have just been like, nope, putting the keys back on. We're going in the car. We're going home.
Well, I would have just said I'm going home as soon as I realized that the bridge was breaking because it's like a storm.
Reverse.
Yeah, I'm like, if a bridge is going to break like that...
Oh, God, paint it. Drive back. Oh, no, Lois, I was going to drive forward. I thought that would be a fun thing to do.
Yeah. Family Guy is good. Season 9.
It's the first episode of that season.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what they called it, though.
Can learn the house or something like that.
Yeah, but it was actually really good. It was actually a suspenseful
Well, because freaking my favorite part is at the end because they kill off the news lady who's been there for
Diane Simmons.
Yeah, and because she's going to kill Lois. but she gets shot.
Sniped by Stewie.
Well, we don't know it's Stewie. Lois just looks around and doesn't see anyone, and she's just like, "Whoever you are, thank you," and leaves. And Stewie's there with a sniper rifle, and he's like, "If anyone's gonna take that bitch down, it's gonna be me."
Yeah.
And we also get Peter. Hey guys, check it out! Go go gadget ski! And he jumps off the stairs in a night outfit. And they do the bit with the trick doors, the bookcase rooms.
Yeah.
Because he pulls a bookcase and goes in. Now it's the laundry room, everyone. And then it goes to another bookcase, moves a bust head, and it comes up. All right, here we go.
It basically is what Knives Out would have been if it was a comedy.
Yeah. I think I've told you this before. The Knives Out house is the house I want to have.
Oh, we filmed at a house for somebody's shoot. They're from Russia, and they had huge Russian folklore silk posters in their house. This house had like marble in the center of the floor. Like it was all designed. Like this house had a balcony. It looked exactly like the Knives Out type of house. That
Just no hidden rooms or hidden windows?
Oh, it had a huge ass basement too. We didn't even see the whole house.
It might sound creepy, guys, but I want a house with hidden doors.
I do and I don't, just because I don't do well in alone in big confined spaces.
And I want a lot of paintings with eyes, so I can look through the painting's eyes. But I hope they're having a fun time at my party.
So that's like Phantom of the Opera. I hope they're enjoying my play.
Exactly.
But going back...
then again, my dream house is absurd. I don't want hallways. I want canals I swim down.
That's a drowning problem.
Exactly. Well, I'll hire a gondola rider in case I want a 3 a.m. snack, and I'll just be sitting there, and he'll be like, "Salve mio to the kitchen," and I'm like, "Can you please stop?" All right.
I'd be falling asleep.
I just want some crackers.
See, that'd be a problem every time you'd have to go to the bathroom, though, because then you just piss yourself because of all the water.
Exactly. Oh God, sleepwalking would be a nightmare.
Especially because of how deep the water is.
Also, it would have to be chlorine, because I can't imagine having to clean something like that. Hell no.
The fact that I'm already scared to go in the water with machinery, to think about going in a house where it's all water.
There's no hallways.
Because I'd be like a cat. I'd be trying to constantly grip the walls. Pretty much. I'd just be outstretched. Everybody would finally see me in just full panic anxiety mode.
Yeah. No, do you not like my new house? No, not really. It's great.
Going back to the Evil Dead.
Yeah, sorry about that. We went on a weird tangent.
But
they go into this house, which is not at all like my dream house.
The inside is so not ideal. Like
there's 2 pieces of furniture?
Tons of cobwebs, so you got your local spiders who are wanting to eat,
I'm assuming bugs. Probably rats and possums.
Or you.
Bats, No, I'm just saying the things that are in there.
Oh, yeah, God knows. I mean, there's so much.
Yeah.
But it's...
Why they even commit to staying there? But we get a great scene because Ash's sister, she's drawing the big clock.
Yeah.
Sorry. This is a great scene.
I'm just thinking, it makes you think, how much did Scott pay to rent this house?
$3. in 1981 money, $3.
Yeah, but how much did it cost for him? Because if this was such a good deal...
Yeah, because he said it was a great deal. I'm like, was it free?
Well, I mean, judging by the state, I mean, I think it was probably one of those things where people were just like, yeah, well, we'll give you a somewhat decent price, but, you're going to pay for it with...
I feel like nowadays you could never do that kind of cabin. Because, I feel like I would be like, can I see photos of the inside of the cabin first? Like, how it's going to look when I get there?
Yeah.
Oh, it's a shack? Hell no.
Oh, I'm sorry. This looks like somebody probably got murdered.
It looks like I'm going to get an STD from walking barefoot on the floor. No.
Yeah, a rusty nail.
Yeah. Oh God, tetanus.
So.
But she's drawing a clock, and then she starts freaking out and moves a page, and the wind's going all crazy, and then she just starts involuntarily drawing, and she draws a book with a face.
Yeah, which we learn.
We'll find out about in a bit. Yeah.
Something that's very not what you want to deal with.
No. I would have seen that thing personally. My dad's a pastor. I would have seen that thing and been like, hell no. We're not messing with this.
Oh, yeah, I don't like that. Even when we were working on a set with a Ouija board, I was like,
Nope.
this is not something that you mess with lightly.
My favorite. Have you seen that Snapchat?
I can't say that I have.
There's a guy who, the title thing, like the word bubble he put on the Snapchat video is like, my sister's having a sleepover and her and her friends are messing with a Ouija board right now, and it's filming just his hand at a power panel, like the power box in their house, and he just flips the light switch off, and you hear like 9 girls screaming super loud.
That's something I would do.
Me too. I do that to my own kids.
Be like, serves you right for playing with the devil's
Don't mess
objects.
with that. Like, I know, like, people think, like, oh, it could be fun, it'd be interesting. No.
Don't
do not mess with spirits, okay? No.
I don't really care if you're a believer in spirits or not. The fact is, why test your chances? Are you going to sit in a bear cave?
If I ever feel like, because I have entered rooms in houses where I'm like, I feel, this place feels different, you know? Like,
I don't like it.
Yeah, exactly. I have, like, audibly said aloud to myself, there's anything here, I'm just going to be sleeping here for like a day or two. I don't want any problems with you. You won't have any problems with me. Let's just be calm, okay?
I've definitely felt that.
Yeah. Like,
and I'm just like, I don't mess with you.
It's a weird vibe. Like, nope. Nope.
Well, I walked into a friend's house and they were into occult shit. And I'm like, I don't.
Nope.
Needless to say, they were like, hey, you want to spend the... I'm like, no, I'm okay.
My family's originally from Louisiana and Texas, and so when I've been down there, I've seen a lot of like voodoo stuff, and I'm like, nope, nope, not messing with it, not touching it. I made a doll of you. No, you didn't.
Yeah, no, it's
doesn't look anything like me. That's the scariest crap. I think I asked you this. Did you watch the trailer for Spell yet?
I don't know that I did.
So freaking creepy because this woman makes a voodoo doll of this guy because she's kidnapping him, and he like goes to the window as like a cop car comes, and he's like, help, and she like moves the doll back and like facing flat, and he flies onto the bed, and then she removes the voodoo doll's tongue, and he can't talk, and I'm like,
what year is it?
No, Spell? It hasn't come out yet.
Oh, you're talking about the 2020 film?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But she, like, removes the doll's tongue, and then he can't talk, and it's like, no, not messing with any of that. Nope.
No, I make a very clairvoyance to stay away from whatever sketchy shit the creepy neighbors or creepy friends are trying to do.
You want to go check out this haunted asylum next door? No, I do not want to do that. And I, in fact, do not.
Yeah. So, I mean, ideally, me
I'd
as
like
a person...
put on 12 cross necklaces. Okay, now I can go in. Now I feel okay.
I mean, just me as a person, I don't like the woods anyway, so seeing a cabin...
Yeah. Cabin in the woods. You said you're not an outdoors person. Due to past things.
Due to past experiences, and that's all you need to know.
Yeah. I like the outdoors. I like the idea, because I do writing stuff. So I like the idea of buying a cabin and just being like, you know what, I'm going to write in my cabin for a month, everyone leave me alone.
If it was in a local place, somewhere where I knew people and it wasn't so severely wooded area.
Like maybe 20 miles from a gas station or something like that.
If it was on a lakefront and it's somewhere I could call people and it was a more like modernized small town.
Like the cabin that the main guy in Misery rented out.
Yeah.
Yeah, those are nice.
If I had something that was more mainstream and I knew that somebody was going to be there, somebody could walk by and I could still see some cars here and there, I'd be okay with it. But
it's the idea of like, I don't want to be able to hear a car honk for like miles, you know? I want to be able to hear birds and see the stars when I look up, you know? Because stars are freaking beautiful. And we can barely see any, like,
Oh, when I went
near the city.
to the country this past weekend, or this last weekend at the time they were recording this, it was nice.
Yeah.
It was completely dark, and you're just kind of sitting there like, this is country. Huh.
Yeah.
But it was also in a wooded area, so the whole time I was like, asking my friend, I'm like, how do you live out here, even if you grew up? Does it
Well,
make a little sense?
it's an interesting thing, too, because, you know, the Earth rotates at, like, a certain way, so, like, the stars will move, so you can look at them in the sky like they're kind of a clock. Like, you can look up and be like, oh, we got 2 hours about till daylight, I'd say.
Yeah.
Just fascinating to me. Yeah. So they're in this cabin, and they're kind of just hanging out. She drew the weird thing. Then we get, like, they're eating food, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, party down, which that sounds exactly like the line from Cabin in the Woods, doesn't it?
It does.
Party time, yeah.
Which, Cabin in the Woods is definitely a big trope of Evil Dead.
Yeah.
Mixed with all horror movies, but...
For sure. The cabin even looks like the one in Cabin in the Woods.
Yeah.
Outside.
Well, it looks very identical to it, the outside.
Yeah. But so then when they say that, the cellar door blows open, and then Scott goes down to check it out, which I'm like, no, I would never. It turns out being okay, but it's just like, I'm not the first guy to volunteer to go down in the cellar.
I'm the first person to say, yep, okay, well, you guys have fun.
Yep.
I have overstayed my welcome here, obviously.
If we're in a creepy building, and I have to be in a creepy building, I have a few rules. Number 1, I am not the first person to enter a room. Number 2, I am not the last person to enter a room.
I'm not the
Put
last
me in
one
the
to
middle.
be. I'm not the last one to be in or out of that one.
Exactly. If we're in a single file line, I am dead center.
And you're not stopping in front of me as a joke, because I will
Deck you.
knock you. I will either deck you or slam your head into the door frame and keep you moving.
Exactly. But so he goes down there. He doesn't make any noise for a while, which is very suspicious. So Ash goes down there too. And then he sees it. It's very dark. It's very damp. It looks very Storm Cellar-esque, like just bare, not a lot there. But then he finds him. He kind of scares him, like as a joke. And he finds like a bunch of stuff down there. They find like a tape recorder. They find a shotgun. And it's like some old posters and stuff. And they also find a book with a face on it.
Deus Ex Mortis.
Necronomicon Ex Mortis.
Oof.
You were about to quote Ex Machina. The Deus Ex Mortis. I'm sorry.
It's a bunch of weird voodoo
It's
shit.
late at night. It's all good.
It's a bunch of weird voodoo shit.
But they bring it up there, and I will say, this is clever, because it's not a thing of like, oh, they read out of the book. They're idiots. Why would they read out of the book out loud? They didn't, technically. Technically, no one reads out of that book out loud. They listened to a recording of this doctor who was talking about these demons that he encountered in this culture, and they listened to that out loud. So technically, it's the doctor who says the stuff.
Yeah.
But Ash's sister's freaking out about it. She doesn't want to hear it. But Scott keeps wanting to hear it. And then something gets awakened, essentially, in the woods. Because, like, the dudes finish saying, like, the prayer thing, and then a tree comes through the window.
Yeah, which is freaky the way they did it.
Yeah.
And the whole time that you're getting the POV shot of whatever is
coming towards them.
Because
you don't know what it is.
You figure out in 2.
You do, yes.
Which is actually worse than what it looks like
later.
Yeah.
The implication, yeah. I like the mystery to it, but...
Oh, I did. I think even when you saw it, that actually horrifies me more than what they did with it, more than Ash vs. Evil Dead.
Yeah, I could see that.
Because, like, I mean, you can see it right here. That's not half as terrifying as... No. I mean, that still pissed my pants if I saw it running towards me with glowing red eyes and be like, so I'm fucked.
So I'm gonna die here. Yeah. But then, But then his sister goes out and has a walk, right?
Yeah, which is a bad idea because she wanted them to stop playing the tape.
Exactly.
Into which Scott was just being a dick.
Yeah.
And
He's being a tool. He was like, she's a kid. Who cares? She's acting like a child. And it's like, no, dude, you're playing a murder tape.
And he's like, he tries to play the high road. He tries to high road Ash by saying, well, you could turn it off. And Ash is like,
that's not the point.
That's not the point. She asked you to turn it off, and you're the one who started it, and you're the one who could have pushed stop button.
I hate that argument. You could have turned it off, too. I wasn't the one who was asked, idiot.
Yeah. Yeah, can you give me a ride to my friend's house? You asked somebody directly.
Yeah.
Oh, well, Sadie could give you a ride, too. I wasn't asking Sadie.
Yeah.
I was asking you.
Yeah. Yes or no is the question.
Yeah, if you can't, then I will decide to ask Sadie.
Exactly. But so she goes out for a walk, and we get the scene, which neither of us want to talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna breeze over that scene, to be honest, because it's not something we want to sit and talk about. But it is a
Tree
graphic,
does bad things.
It's a graphic adult scene.
Yeah.
So we do have a bit of unconsensual.
And if any of you were thinking, oh, that can't possibly be what it is, it's what it is. It's what it is.
And it involves trees, not humans, so that
and it
makes it
grosser.
It makes it grosser. I mean, at least it's not a human, but it's still just as bad.
Yeah.
So
she comes back, and she's like only got a shirt on, and she's freaking out. And Ash is like, all right, I'll take you into town, and you can stay somewhere in town. Because she's just like, I want to leave, I want to leave, I want to leave.
Which, after what happened to her and being half naked now,
oh yeah,
you don't blame her.
If anyone saw her, or if anyone heard her, they would all be like, we're getting out of here. You know?
Oh yeah, and they cut down those trees and sue them.
Exactly. Sue them for all their money. But they go, he takes her, but it looks like no one's getting out anytime soon because the bridge is out. And the bridge isn't just out. Like, the metal is turned the other way you think it would be.
Yeah, like something physically.
It looks like Godzilla came up and just bent it.
Yeah, it's like somebody had to physically pull it.
And she's like, it's not letting us leave. It's not letting us leave. She is losing it. Understandably.
Yeah, I mean, after what happened to her, and the fact that trees, man.
Yeah. Oof.
Just trees in general moving is creepy enough.
Mm-hmm. Even when wind is a thing.
Yeah, I don't know about you guys, but like it's late nights like this where I just get in my car, and I'm like, what if the trees are just actually watching me?
Like when we dropped off that co-host in his neighborhood, and we're like, nope.
Yeah, something felt very, very.
This neighborhood
very
feels weird. Nope.
Yeah, well, that and it was the racket, the banging, random banging at 1 a.m. in the morning.
Something like that.
What are you building that needs to be built at 1 a.m.?
A Terradome? Like, what's the heck is happening?
Yeah, and I was just...
You building the walker from RoboCop?
Yeah, there's a lot of sketchy vibes, so we were like...
We're about, no.
Nope.
Do you want to see my dune buggy? No, we do not. Maybe next time. Yeah. But so anyway, so then they're just kind of hanging out. Ash gives his girlfriend a nice little... It almost looks like a mirror, but the glass goes through, so I guess it's like a magnifying glass necklace. I guess.
Maybe. Yeah, I didn't really know what it was.
It looks nice.
It looked nice, though.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, but it looked nice. So
it's that scene with them is very cute. It's very cute.
Yeah, it's something...
It makes you care.
Relationship goals.
On, relationship goals. Exactly. But then they're just messing around. They're playing like a thing where they're having her guess like cards, like numbers and suits of playing cards, like psychic or something. But then Ash's sister starts guessing them immediately, like exactly right.
And that's when
her voice gets deeper, and that's when we go from normal to, oh hell no. This is if you hadn't left during the tree scene, you were definitely leaving now if you don't have a strong enough stomach. Because she, her skin goes weird, her eyes lose their pupils,
And the makeup effect, the work and the angles.
And she gets the pencil and stabs the ankle, and it's so, You want to describe it? Because I don't...
Yeah, she takes it and stabs it into Linda's heel, into which we get a very brutal shot in which we see the back part of the tenement, like the Achilles, just shred through.
Yeah, so much blood and it's so much noise. It's gross.
If you guys have seen The Misery, the shackling, is that what they call it? Hobbling?
Hobbling. Oh, God, another thing I don't want.
Yeah, if you've seen the hobbling scene, don't look it up. Watch the movie.
Yeah,
don't
please
be a narc.
watch the full movie, because it's worth it.
Watch the full movie.
Otherwise,
please.
you're
Don't
just going to be
look
like,
up
what the
scenes.
heck?
That scene is about as bad as this, except
I'd say this
a bit
is worse. Yeah, this is worse.
Because it's like everybody's fear. It's like if somebody took a pencil and shoved it through your armpit. Yeah, it's like that sensitive thing that you think of every day of like, if I got this, what would happen?
Exactly. But so she's freaking out. That's pretty much the most damage she does.
Yeah, before Ash is just like...
They lock her in the basement. They lock her in the cellar. And she like is occasionally like, because it's chained down, locked. She's occasionally...
Pop it up a
she
little
pops
bit.
her head up a few times throughout the movie and just says some eerily creepy stuff. It's just very disturbing.
And laughs really weird, which I'm like, at that point, I'm like, God, just kill her already.
But then, like, a few minutes later, Scott's girlfriend, that same thing happens to her, too.
Yeah, which you kind of start to think that the, what they call the demons in here are called the Deadites.
Deadites, which don't get a name in this movie.
Yeah, not yet. That's the second one that I think that they get the Deadites.
Well, because we talked to the people who were related to the people who made the recording.
Yeah. And to which, one of the cool things that I like about this movie is what they called, they say Deadites.
Yeah.
And in Hellraiser, they're called the Cenobites. They both
a lot
sound...
of biting.
Yeah. Both have a weird name, but are also oddly... Similar in a cool way.
Yeah. So she's freaking out, but Scott was chopping... She scratches his face up real bad. His girlfriend. But he was chopping wood earlier, so he's got an axe. So he starts just, like, going to town on her limbs.
Yeah, it just starts hacking her to pieces, because he's like, at this point, I'm like, I can't fucking save you, I'm done.
Yep. He's a very... I could tell he's not exactly the kind of guy who would save someone from... He wouldn't do the sacrifice play, you know?
No, Scott is more of a...
He's himself. He will survive.
A Tony Stark.
Exactly. Tony Stark early on.
Yeah, early on, Tony Stark or Michael Bell.
Yep. Yes.
Very much a Michael Bell type character.
So all this stuff is happening. Then they decide to... He's traumatized because he just chopped up his girlfriend into pieces. So they're like, we got to bury her. So...
Yeah, no, which Ash doesn't know what to say, because that's also his sister, right?
No, his
Linda.
sister's still in the thing. It's Scott's girlfriend.
Yeah, Linda.
No, Linda's his girlfriend.
No,
Cheryl.
No. Cheryl. Why am I drawing a blank? Oh.
Or Shelley?
It's...
Scott's girlfriend. She's not in this movie much.
Yeah, Shelley.
Yeah, she's not very memorable. But she gets buried... And then they're trying to figure out what the heck to do. And he's like, we should just go, man. We should just go. He's like, we'll take the bridge. He's like, the bridge is out. And he's like, well, then we'll hike. And he's like, my girlfriend can't hike with her ankle like that. Like.
But Scott is so determined.
He's like, you know what? Screw you then. I'm going. And he just leaves on his own.
Which, is really stupid judging by the fact that we already saw what happened when one person went out there alone.
Yeah. Like, you don't believe her story by now?
Yeah, and the fact that they all saw the bridge was bent.
I would have, after seeing the bridge bent, I would have 100% believed in her about the trees.
Oh, I would have totally lost my shit. I don't even think it would have been. I think it would have been more of an anxiety panic attack. I just had a mental break now.
Exactly. So then he leaves, and Ash goes to check on his girlfriend, and he looks at her ankle. And her ankle gets this really cool, it almost looks like pencil-drawn effect.
Yeah, which looks tacky, but is also
it's really
awesome.
Cool. Yeah. Because I'm assuming what they did was they applied makeup and then just spread out the shots of it.
Probably.
Because it looks like it's moving like across her ankle, like stop motion. And then she's crazy. And she's more... She doesn't really attack that much.
No,
she's more unsettling.
She's more of a taunting.
Like, she's sitting crisscross in the doorway, and she's laughing, and she's like, we're gonna get you. And I'm, nope.
Yeah, and um and what was I gonna say? And it's more that she's just there to taunt Ash.
Yeah.
Because
Make
they've
him
already
go crazy.
the Deadites have already taken his sister, so he's already lost a bunch of mental sanity and watched Linda get hacked up to pieces. So
Not Linda, Shelley.
or Shelly, yeah.
And now Linda's crazy.
Now Linda's crazy, so he's already
Did
really
they?
losing it.
I can't remember. Did they ever explain why Ash never gets possessed by a Deadite?
I think later in the series,
Okay.
but it was more or less
Like he's pure of heart or something?
yeah, but also the fact you got to remember that Ash never got scratched or anything really. He got scratched and beat up,
she messes up his leg later on.
but overall, he never really gets hit.
I feel like it's also partly like...
There's something specific. They explain in Ash vs. Evil Dead
Yeah.
too that there's something very specific about Ash because he's the chosen one.
Yeah. That's... Okay, that is it, yeah. But...
Which is why they tried to make him go nuts more than just kill him.
Yeah, because they know they can't.
Yeah.
But, so then... While he's dealing with crazy Linda and his sister, who keeps trying to get out of the cellar, Scott comes back, and he is messed up.
He is fucked.
His wrist bone is poking out of his wrist.
And he's still calm.
Yeah, he's like...
Which is partially adrenaline and shock, I
We
think.
gotta get out of here. And he's like, the trees attacked me, and I'm like, oh, did they now? Like,
Which is the only way out, which kind of shows more like...
he's like, there's a hiking trail. There is one. And he's like, okay, well... But Ash does kind of start to lose it a bit, and
Oh, yeah.
I feel like anyone would.
The best part is, the acting is pretty good. Bruce's acting seems a little shallow, but
Yeah.
But
kinda...
midway through this movie, it is mind blowing. His acting is so well done and shows why he is the legend he is today. Because his insanity in these movies is
he's not nearly given as much credit in the public eye as this man deserves. He is great.
You ever want to see like a real psycho freak out, panic attack, anxiety?
Yeah.
And even in the Army of Darkness, when it's supposed to be a joke, like his anxiety,
It makes me believe it.
Is so believable. Though in this first movie, it feels like they really put Bruce in a room. It feels like, when they unveiled Pennywise to the children, for the actors for the first time. That's what it felt like. You felt the horror and the absolute fear that...
Bruce, if you ever hear this, we'd love to have you on the show.
You never know, man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
knowing him, I feel like of all the actors we've talked about, he would. He seems cool.
Hey,
what's up, guys? Yeah.
Want to smoke a joint with us?
Let's talk about a motion picture. This is like, okay.
Well, he loves the indie film community, and that is something that we will discuss during one of our film talks, because him and Roger Corman and
they are big batters for indie films. Because
Yes,
that's where they started.
Yeah. That's why it exists, and part of me is I got to see some of the best films because I started watching the indie community, which rest in peace Family Video, that's now closed and liquidated. Very upsetting, but they are a whole reason of why I got to discover half the amazing movies that I did.
Yeah.
It is truly a real shame, because stuff like A24 and stuff, I can't help but also think that because of rental businesses like Family Video and just kind of having their name out there on Prime and stuff like that are really what made indie films much more noticed as indie films, not big budget.
Exactly. Okay, so then... God, this movie is kind of blends for me at a point.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to say because a lot of it
happens in the same room. I think that's why I can't really differentiate in my head where the heck anything is going on.
A lot of it mostly is just Ash freaking out, he's trying to help Scott while also trying to figure out what the hell he's going to do with Linda.
And he's feeding him water after Linda attacks him. And he, throws her out the house. And he's feeding Scott water. He's like, we're all going to get out of here. We're all of us. And he's like...
Even though in the back of his head he knows Scott's pretty...
He's in denial about all of it. Because while he's feeding him water, Scott dies.
Yeah, which is
We all knew it was going to come. Yeah.
Well, Scott knew it was going to come too.
Yeah. Yeah, Scott did. But so then, does he...
After Scott dies, he goes to get a chainsaw.
Oh, yeah, because he ties down Linda.
Yeah,
because
and
he's going to cut her up.
Just because, which it's so hard for him, because it's like, that is my girlfriend.
He loves
that
her.
was my sister.
You get the feeling he loves her. Like, it's like, believable.
I don't care who you are because I know it's still you there.
Exactly.
Into which the Deadites take, that possess Linda takes.
My least favorite thing that the Deadites do is when they decide to unpossess somebody. Yeah. And it's not like they're manipulating them and they're like having their voice and they're like, help me. No, it's literally that they're letting that person who's trapped in there
figure out what's happening.
Ask for help. And it's like, you dicks. Like, I know what I'm going to have to do, and I feel horrible about it.
Now, I haven't seen The Exorcist yet, but I do think it's like an Exorcist vibe.
It's very unsettling. But he, like, hesitates because he sees the necklace, and he decides to just bury her alive, but then she attacks him and messes up his leg real bad.
Yeah, which the amount of claymation that goes into that is... Yeah. My God. It is...
Especially at the end, that claymation. That goes in the end. But so what ends up happening with his girlfriend?
He cuts off her head.
Yeah. Okay.
Because that's where kind of 2 goes into and deals with that too.
Yep.
Because 2, like the movie Phantasm, the Phantasm series, it immediately picks up where the first one left off. It gives a kind of confusing recap, but when we review that movie, we'll go into more details about that.
Yeah.
Or if you've seen it, you already understand. But yeah, with that, he cuts off
her head.
Cheryl's head, and then
does he bury her too? Yeah. And then his sister breaks out of the cellar, right?
Yep.
But he goes and gets the shotgun then.
He goes and grabs the shotgun. Tries to shoot her, but inevitably ends up stabbing her.
Yeah, he locks her out of the house first, but then she breaks back into the house because he starts hearing voices, and he's like, shut up, and it's like...
Yeah, and he kills Scott, too.
Well, Scott comes back and attacks him while his sister's attacking him, too, and he shoots them both. And then they're both, like, kind of dogpiling him, and that's when he grabs a hold of the book,
and throws it into the fire.
Yeah, because Scott's holding onto his leg to keep him from getting there, and his sister just keeps hitting him with like a fireplace poker, but not like the sharp end. He's just getting hit with
smacking
a metal
in the stomach. Yeah,
yeah, on his back, But he gets the chain and brings the book towards him, and he throws it in the fire, and then they all kind of proceed to melt
away like the book. Which one of the things it says that the book is made of human flesh.
It's bound in human flesh, yes,
and written in human blood.
Yeah, Ooh, that's so much disease. I don't even want to think. Like, I don't even want to touch the Kiss comic book that has their blood in it. Like,
they have literal blood in their comics.
Yeah, you didn't know that?
What the shit?
So when the first Kiss comic came out, all the band members donated like a pint of their actual blood, and there's actual Kiss blood in the first prints of their first comic. It has their actual blood in it.
That's gross.
Yeah.
And very unsanitary. And probably...
It was the 70s.
Yeah, when everybody had the most AIDS.
Yeah, exactly. Here's the thing about knowing. They didn't. Well, there's a great line from the show Community where a guy goes, he's an older guy, he's played by Chevy Chase, and he goes, before AIDS, having sex was like shaking hands. And then a younger guy goes, hence AIDS.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah. Sexual advice from Noah and Nathaniel. Always wrap it up, guys.
Wrap it up and know who your partner is. Come on now.
And for the love of God, don't be that guy, please.
Or girl.
Well, no, this is specifically for guys. Okay. Do not be that guy. You'll agree with me. Do not be that guy who, when a girl is like, can you put on a condom? Don't be like, ugh.
I can't feel nothing.
Do it, okay?
Do it. Otherwise, if you get a kid, you deserve to pay child support.
Exactly. If you made the dumb choice.
We don't do politics on this show, but we do not support the pullout game.
Yeah. My pullout game is tight. No, it's not. No, it's not.
Pull a fucking rubber on. When your dick gets hard, the story doesn't make sense.
Exactly.
A wise man once said that in a show. Vic Reynolds.
And a wise man named Robin Williams said that God gifted man with a penis and a brain, and only enough blood to operate one at a time.
Exactly.
And every year of my life, that statement gets truer.
Which
you will agree with that, right?
Oh yeah. And like we said,
Robin Williams. I'm gonna take 2 seconds. Robin Williams has a lot of great analogies about like sex in general.
Yeah, because he's Robin fucking Williams.
Yeah. One thing he said in his last stand-up, I think it was a couple months before he died when it aired, he was like, if kinkiness is a feather, pornography is the whole chicken.
Yeah.
That always kills me.
Porn industry is a chicken, that's
that
for
always kills me.
But yeah, like your favorite movie characters, which spoiler alert, in Ash vs. Evil Dead, there is a certain character that did not wrap a willy.
Yeah. Idiot.
From the past, from the trilogy. So, and they end up with some offspring. So
it's a bad situation.
Once your dick gets hard, the story doesn't make sense, wrap your willies.
Yeah.
Ladies, if they don't, you need to remember, hugs, not drugs.
Yes.
Which basically means
and
no
don't
kids.
forget, bitches get stitches. It's the only other rhyme I know. Oh, and Peter Piper did some shit. I don't know. But okay. So Ash versus Evil. No, Ash.
But the
Evil Dead. Evil Dead.
Ash throws the books into the fire, into which
they all start melting claymation style.
Yeah, and a one questionable little leak that looks like a green penis.
Yeah, I pointed that out to you, and you were like, "What the hell?"
Because I was like, "Okay, kind of."
Oh, you're right. That one shot. That's definitely what that is.
And,
like cock and balls.
Which I think was just more or less given the fact it was really just something that probably was a little inside joke.
It was definitely Sam Raimi. He definitely went to one of the claymation artists. Okay, hear me out.
Because there's no way that it could have accidentally looked like that when it's a claymation.
Because it's not on the screen for long. Which is evidenced by how many times you've seen this movie and never noticed it.
Yeah.
It's like the penis on the Little Mermaid box. You have to really be looking.
Oh yeah, and there's something else on there too.
Well, Lion King, when he flops down, apparently for a millisecond, the leaves spell out the word sex.
Well, on the poster, there's a bikini girl.
Yeah!
And a bikini butt in the lion's nose.
Mm-hmm.
There's Mufasa, so there is that too.
But, we see you, Disney. We see you.
Oh, Disney.
Anyways. So they all melt, and then, like, have one last freak out and explode.
Yeah, which is definitely awesome. It was very well executed. Very cool.
And then it's morning. Because this whole movie, he's like, it's only going to be this many more hours until sunrise. We'll be fine at sunrise. We only got to wait an hour more until sunrise. And now it's sunrise. And he like just walks out. He's covered in blood. All of his friends are dead, including his sister.
And to which he thinks he's going to at least have a fine-ass day because he finally gets to see the sun. And he's like...
Yeah. But then something attacks him and it cuts to credits, right as we see him screaming.
Yeah, we get a POV of something that goes through the cabin. It's a very excellent shot. Very excellent use of POV style footage. And I think what really inspired...
Not really a thing used much back then, huh?
Which I think really probably inspired the Blair Witch to take that perspective.
100%.
That is...
100%.
And we all know why it was. It was to save money.
Yep.
And it was something that actually follows the series even for Ash vs. Evil Dead. Because of how popular it is. And because it really gives you a sense of claustrophobia because you don't get to see it. And it's one of the things that I wish they would put more movies. You don't need to see shit. Stop begging for monsters.
I'm scared. I'm more scared of the thing that I don't see.
Or if I do see the thing that's revealed, it needs to be like really like a holy shit that's staring into my soul.
Because when you hear a noise, you know what's more terrifying than that thing? Your imagination.
And not knowing what it could be and thinking...
Because in your head, it just starts going wild. You're like, how many tentacles does it have? How big are its jaws?
Or even worse, is it a human that's...
Exactly.
More or less much smarter and faster than me?
Is it a Wendigo? Like, who knows?
And is it going to turn into something else and it's really not a human? Like
Exactly.
That's how our minds work.
The reveal is almost always a bummer. And you're just like, oh.
Except for Evil Dead 2. That reveal was actually... I was like... That is freaky as shit.
Yeah.
And the people who did
also the monsters in Quiet Place. Those were pretty creepy.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And how fast they run.
Mm-hmm.
which we'll definitely do that on this channel. 'Cause A Quiet Place is my second favorite movie next to Jeepers Creepers.
Favorite movie of all time or just of the genre?
No, Jeepers Creepers is my favorite of all time.
Okay.
I love how well it was done.
Yeah.
But
yeah, that's The Evil Dead.
Yeah, The Evil Dead it's actually a pretty short movie.
Yeah,
it's not an hour and 57 minutes. It's like an hour and 47.
And it doesn't feel like that as well.
No, it's very straight into it, but not in the sense of...
It's like an hour and 27 minutes, I think.
Yeah.
And it's just... It all happens in the same place. It's never slow. It never gives you a chance to breathe, I don't think.
No, it really grips you and gets you to hold on to the seat with a few laughs here and there.
Especially I love the beginning.
Yeah. But it really grips you, and it's got some very excellent cinematography work that, yes, it does look campy, but in the sense that, you really have to take the time to appreciate that being on a budget that Sam Raimi did.
One of my least favorite things that people love to point out as a negative to this movie is when Scott's leaving the cabin to go walk on his own, because you can see the lights that are lighting up the thing, and it's like, he had no money. Stop giving him so much shit for it.
Yeah, I'm like... and I'm sorry, but if you are going to be one of those people, you need to be able to back it up by making a movie.
Exactly.
Otherwise, I don't think if you don't have the experience, you don't have the money, and you don't know what you're doing.
If you've never filmed a movie, I have a hard time taking critics who never make movies seriously. You know?
Because they're very biased.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't know what it's like until you've said it.
I can understand it if it's like the big critics where they're like, they've gone to film school and they know like all this stuff. Like, but if it's just a person online who's like 23 and they're like, oh god, it's so bad, I can see the strings. It's like, dude, you don't know.
I am gonna call this out.
Yeah.
Robert E. Is it E. Robert or whatever? Was an infamous critic.
Roger Ebert.
Yeah.
He's directed a movie before.
But a lot of his stuff, for a lot of the better stuff, is over. I think is way overdone in some cases.
What is the movie he directed? It didn't do well, but it's like...
No, and that's like part of my problem. He died in 2013.
He was... Yeah, he's a very synonymous person with his craft, and I don't want to insult a dead guy.
Welcome... Is it Who Killed Bambi or Welcome to... Or no, At the Movies?
Well, that was a documentary he was in.
It's either Life Itself or Welcome to Hollywood.
Let me look it up.
Or Beyond the Valley of the Dolls.
That's what it is. Beyond the Valley of the Dolls. That's the movie he made.
It's a musical. It's an NC-17 musical? That's questionable.
Yeah, considering it's from Roger Ebert.
And it sucks crazy. Okay, that explains it already.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, I feel like that's also a trap as well of, like, being a prestigious movie critic. And then if you make a movie that's crappy, I feel like the rest of your career, when you continue critiquing movies, people are just going to be like, well, you made a bad movie, so what do you know what you're talking about?
Yeah, and that's why I like, when it comes to indie films, I don't like to hear the reviews. Yeah. I'm sorry. If you're going to
that's me with any movie. I'm like, I want to see it for myself.
We will call out shitty movies on this channel. I wouldn't call them shit movies. I would call them bad. There are some movies. Like, there was one movie called Zombie Croc, I think. I'm sorry. That is a bad movie. It is a bad movie. I will not call it shit because I know people worked on it, but it didn't look like any effort was put into it.
You have a different perspective from all this because you make movies yourself.
And I'm sorry. I am one of those people who will support something even like The Gallows, despite how bad the story and stuff may be. But
at least they freaking tried.
At least they tried. They didn't know what they were doing, but they tried, and it does look better. A Zombie Croc, they couldn't even get an actual billboard or anything. They cropped it out and photoshopped, didn't even crop out the white, and then stuck it on a billboard. It was very lazy, and I'm sorry, I don't mean to tear the filmmakers down to that, but it really shows where a little bit of hard work and elbow grease and a bit of imagination can go, and that is why I will always support The Evil Dead. It is undoubtedly one of the best indie films out there, and I think one of the things next to Roger Corman's success in movies that really helped show how impactful an indie film can be. Because if we would have got a big budget, I think it would have been shit.
Yeah.
Same thing with Jaws. If Jaws would have got a big budget and the shark would have been working, Jaws probably would have been a different movie. And honestly, probably would have been shit because we would have seen the shark way too much.
God, I'm trying to think of a really good example for a movie that went from who's that director? M. Night Shyamalan. I will say, most of the movies he does, he works better with a smaller budget than he does.
Oh yes, The Visit. We definitely need to cover.
The Visit is amazing.
The Visit is
The Visit is a great movie. Very freaking real. Very small budget. Signs was a great movie. I haven't seen it yet. Signs is great.
But I've heard not the Fifth
Element. Village. The Village is good. That he did.
I've heard mixed receptions.
Sixth Sense. That was his big movie that people were like, he's going places, you know? Devil, which was a good movie. It takes primarily
in an
elevator, yeah.
And it was a little rusty because of the fact that it was a different approach to horror, but it was very intriguing. It was It was very well written for being something so small and such a small.
But then you give him a movie like The Happening, garbage. You give him a movie like, oh God, I don't know, The Last Airbender. Garbage!
And we don't mean to shit on M. Night Shyamalan, but...
No, he's a great guy. We just gave examples of a bunch of movies he makes, which we freaking love.
But there are some...
All I'm saying is, every director makes a bad movie.
And some of them they are better fit to be in smaller projects. Yeah. You know, Sam Raimi is one of those people that can take on a big ambitious project, but he has a certain tango and a certain flavor of how he approaches big projects.
There is not a director worth his salt that hasn't made at least a bomb.
Yeah, and the whole Evil Dead trilogy, considering that he went from straight up horror to comedy, and the fact that still sticks and got a 3-season deal contract, which it was canceled
on a cable show,
which was really stupid. I'm sorry, Stars, but why did you cancel it?
Exactly.
Ratings were good. You had Rotten Tomatoes with 90%.
They wanted more shows. They wanted to fill it with more shows. Yeah, it's business, man. It sucks.
I think you should realize that since this movie was an indie film, that money doesn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, it does in the sense of running a business, but I get what you're saying.
Well, this was run in the sense of a business, and it's more than a cult classic.
The first one was very much a sense of he wanted to make a movie, I feel like. Sam Raimi.
And he accomplished it.
Yeah, he was great.
Because he just wanted to make a movie. That's what made it. Yeah. You know what made the Spider-Man trilogy is not the fact that they're hunting. They gave it to him. He said, I'm going to do what I want.
But yeah, he's him and James Gunn is like the modern day Sam Raimi of like, I'm going to do what I want.
I don't want to hear your words.
Stay away.
and you know, a lot of people
I will listen to your words,
saying, like,
but if I don't take your advice, that's okay.
And
you have to be okay with that.
That is something that I've learned in director school. That was something that was hard for me learning in film school, is that, and you know, and why indie films do so well is because you need to realize that
100% creative freedom.
Yep. As a director, you're the one who's making the vision, so if I don't want to take your input, then you need to be okay with that. Yeah. Granted, there are circumstances. I will only say that Star Wars is technically one of them, in to which those case that when you have different directors' minds, and also when you have a fan base, when you get to something that big, that's something you need to respect. I think that's something that Ash vs. Evil Dead did very well for being a revival of.
Yeah.
It really reflected, even in some episodes, on its pure horror roots, like The Evil Dead, and really showed that with a little bit of elbow grease and some modern day reworkings and really just following what the fan base has to say and taking their advice, and what the actors who have actually played these characters longer than the director has known them.
Exactly.
That really shows that it doesn't need to be about the money. It's about the craft.
Yeah.
You can have all the money in the world and you can sell whatever you want. But at the end of the day, what do you think is going to make more money? A shitty remake that you put no time into, or something that brings back fans and it has a well-written story?
Exactly. Something that's achieved a cult following.
Which we will definitely talk about Terminator in the future, but one thing I want to point out too is that how many of you out there, as much as we love Arnold Schwarzenegger, how many times have you gotten sick and tired of seeing him? Like, oh great, he's back again.
Me personally, I love seeing that dude on screen.
I always love him, but it's
Predator, Commando.
But that's not what I'm saying is, for Terminator, we always see T-800 back. It's just the normal.
Yeah.
It's not like a big, oh yeah, Arnold Schwarzenegger. You expect him to come back. It's a treat because it's Arnold Schwarzenegger. There's nothing wrong with that. But, you know, it's not as impactful as being like, it's been 30 years.
Yeah.
And we get to see him and Linda Hamilton come back. What? It's like, it was like seeing Mark Hamill's coming back, even though it's not the Luke that I think a lot of people wanted.
Yeah. exactly. But
one thing I wanted to say about the Evil Dead 2,
yeah,
very quickly. One of the things that people said from a past interview with Sam Raimi in 2018, decades later, the Evil Dead is still banned in some countries, which obviously due to its graphic nature.
I can see that.
One thing that Sam Raimi did admit, especially, is that he really, really did regret the scene with Cheryl where she's assaulted by the demonic tree. And I think that might have been like a time period thing, kind of like where we had that Stephen King scene in It.
Yeah.
It was just a kind of in the moment things.
In the It book.
Yeah, but that scene does kind of give you some context, so when you see that scene, don't think that he's just a crazy, weird sex monster.
No. He's not a perv.
George Lucas, there's no bras in space.
Exactly.
But yeah.
But that's The Evil Dead, guys.
Check it out for yourselves. It should probably still be on Netflix through the month because it is the spirit of Halloween.
We reiterate what we said at the beginning. If you got a weak stomach, or if sexual assault is a soft subject for you, I hope you enjoyed listening to us talk.
Yeah, and always feel free to skip over the scene if you can deal with the gore, because it is definitely worth the watch.
Yeah, that scene is just... I haven't met a person in my life who is okay with that scene. It's brutal.
No, it sucks. It's brutal and it sucks. A lot of the gore is really intense, so it does. It is one of those things that after you watch it again, every time you watch it, you will be like, it does earn that NC-17 rating.
It does.
100%. And in all fairness, it is because the practical effects are done so well. So
yeah, the practical effects are great.
Very, very, very big kudos to the special effects team that worked on that movie, because you guys really showed what a lot of elbow grease and hard work can do compared to CGI.
Yeah.
And that there's nothing if it looks...
CGI, I will say, CGI, a lot of work does go into that.
Yes, there's nothing wrong with CGI.
No.
It's a matter of time and a matter of resources, and it's expensive.
Budget, yeah.
But
practical, I like practical a lot.
I think with the CGI artists, because editing for me even is just a bitch just to put stuff together.
Yeah, exactly.
Respect the work of CGI artists. Don't take me wrong on that.
I will never understand what you guys do. I love it.
And I know, just being an editor and going into the industry, that it sucks. Editing sucks. I haven't even made it. Just editing my own projects, it's like you get so passionate, but it takes a lot. So.
Yeah. I wouldn't know anything about that. I just show up and record, and I'm like, sign my name right on the check.
Exactly. So
I'm kind of an asshole. All right, so
that is Evil Dead.
This
just
has been
an NC-17 warning. This has been
Film Nerds Hour with Noah Sweeto
and Nathaniel Shoemaker, and we will see you guys in the next episode. We'll hear from you.
And if you're listening to this later on in the month, happy Halloween.
Yeah, have a great Halloween. Stay safe. Stay warm.
Don't be stupid.
And don't be dumb, yeah. There's some troubling times.
Yeah.
And don't go to a cabin in the middle of the woods.
Yeah. Oh, God, no. No.
So, see you later, guys.
Bye.